Namaste. Welcome to third semester BCom Corporate Administration class, that is session second of Coimbatore University. Today's topic is kinds of companies, or we can take it as types of companies also. So in the session 1 we have studied the meaning of joint stock company and features or characteristics of joint stock company. And today's learning objectives, that is only one, is to know the different types of companies according to Companies Act. We have to understand what are the different types or kinds of companies according to Indian Companies Act. Now, there are many kinds of companies. First one, A, that is on the basis of incorporation or registration. There are three types, that is chartered companies, statutory companies, third registered companies. On the basis of liability of its members, again there are three types, that is companies limited by shares, companies limited by guarantee, and third one is unlimited companies. Continued, that is kinds of companies. On the basis of membership, there are two types, that is private limited company, public limited company. D, on the basis of ownership, there are two types, government companies and foreign companies. On the basis of shareholding, there are two types, holding companies and subsidiary companies. And all these are different types of companies. Say you have to see A. Under A there are three types, B there are three types. Again here C, that you have to understand what is C. There are two types. D there are two types, and E there are two types. Now let us understand the meaning of these companies. The first one is chartered companies. Chartered company is a company which comes into existence under a special charter or proclamation issued by a king or queen. So if any company is started by the order or special act or special charter by the king or queen of any country, that is called as a chartered company. It may be, for example, the British East India Company, the Bank of England. So all these companies are considered as a chartered company. And second one is statutory company. Statutory companies or public enterprises came into existence by a special act of the Parliament. The act defines its powers and functions, rules and regulations governing its employees and its relationship with government departments. It is a corporate body created by the legislature. So any statutory company means these companies are established by a special act of the Parliament. So after the special act which is passed in the Parliament, company is going to start. So statutory corporations or body corporates formed by special act of Parliament or by the central or state legislature. It is fully financed by the government. Its powers, objects, limitations, etc. are also decided by the government. It's also decided by the government or the legislature. Now about the registered companies. Registered companies means all the companies incorporated under the Companies Act passed by the government of the country are known as registered company. These companies can come into existence after they have registered themselves under the Companies Act, and the register of companies has granted a certificate of incorporation to them, An incorporated company is another name of the registered company. So Google India Private Limited is a registered or incorporated company. Just it is a example. So any company which are registered under the Indian Companies Act, all companies are considered as a registered companies. Okay. Now we have to understand the company on the basis of their liability. So there are three types which I have shown in the earlier slide. Now it is companies limited by shares. That means here the company, that means the liability of the members are limited to the extent of shares held by them. That means when the liability of the members of the company is restricted to the extent of face value of shares held by the members. Now the most of the companies are limited liability companies. And next, companies limited by guarantee. When the liability of members of the company is restricted only to the extent of guaranteed fixed amount by members, that is, agreed to contribute to the assets of the company to meet the liabilities of the company in the event of winding up. That means, in this, the liability of the members is only to the extent of guaranteed amount. That means the personal assets of the members are not liable in this case also, and also in the limited by shares. In the limited by shares, the liability of the members is limited to the extent of shares held by the shareholders or the members, and here is liability of the members is limited to the extent of guaranteed amount. And the next one is a unlimited company. Unlimited company means there is no limit for the liability of the members. That means the in the case of company loss or at the time of winding of the company, even personal assets of the members also liable for the payment of debt of the company. So when the liability of members is unlimited, that is members of these companies can be called upon to pay from their private assets to satisfy the liabilities of the company. So these companies are called as a unlimited company. And next is a holding company. A holding company is a company which is controlling a subsidiary company. Holding company is the main company which controls the another company, that is called as a subsidiary company. A company which holds more than 51% of the nominal value of the equity share capital of another company. A company which controls the composition of the board of directors of the another company, that is, which has the power to appoint or remove all or majority of the board of directors of the another company. So there are example is Grasim, Ultratech, or Sterlite, Hindustan Zinc, and these are all holding companies. There are many. Next, subsidiary company. Subsidiary company means a company which another company holds a minimum of 51% of share capital, that is holding company, is known as a subsidiary company. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ತನ್ನ ಅಂಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡರಿ ಕಂಪನಿಯ 51%ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಶೇರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅದೇ ಹೊಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಆ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಯಿಂದ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ದಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡರಿ ಕಂಪನಿ. As long as the parent company means holding company, has more than 50% of voting stock is the subsidiary. That is, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದರದ್ದು subsidiary company ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So these are all the types of company. Now on the basis of the topics which we have discussed today, let us have few multiple choice questions. Very easily we can answer for it. The company which is established by special act. Okay, we have studied, no? The company which is established by a special act of the parliament whether it is statutory company or chartered company or registered company or none of the above. The special act of the parliament. Okay, so that is a statutory company. Option A is right. And the second one is the company which is established by king or queen. Yes, the company which is established by king or queen, whether it is a statutory company, chartered company, registered company, or all the above. The answer is option B, that is a chartered company. Next, third question is the company in which the liability of the members are limited to value of shares. Again, there are four options in front of you: company limited by guarantee, company limited by shares, unlimited company, all the above. So understand the question: limited to value of shares, that is answer B, company limited by shares. Yeah. Question number 4. The company in which the liability of the members are limited to the fixed amount. So the liability of the members to the fixed to the extent, right? No, that is the question. Company limited by guarantee, company limited by shares, option C, unlimited company, and all the above. So answer is option A, that is company limited by guarantee. Next, there are two companies called P and Q. There are two companies called P and Q. P is having more than 51% of share capital of Q, and P controls Q. P controls Q here, which is holding company and subsidiary company. So now you have to understand the question very clearly. There are two companies are P and Q. P is controlling the Q. Right now, moreover, P is having more than 51% of share capital of Q. Then the P is holding company and Q is a subsidiary company. Yes. For more information, you can refer any available source. And this is in the second session we have studied about the kinds of companies. Yeah. Thank you and all the best.